Where do you think the art of writing, astronomy, law, and the idea of civilization begun? It's not Greece, not Egypt, not Rome, but Mesopotamia. It is renowned for being one of the most significant areas in human history where early complex societies and written language first developed. From the grandiose temples to the modest abodes, these ancient Mesopotamian civilizations reveal a story of innovation, resilience, and the roots of modern urban living. The word Mesopotamia, in Greek, translates to the land between two rivers. This remarkable civilization thrived between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, encompassing what is now modern-day Iraq, Kuwait, southeastern Turkey, and parts of Iran and Syria. Mesopotamia was one of the world's earliest and most influential civilizations, often considered the cradle of human civilization, emerging around 3500 BC and continuing for over 2 millennia. It laid the groundwork for numerous aspects of contemporary life, from governance and law to agriculture and architecture. From the plains of the Tigris and Euphrates to the towering ziggurats, we invite you to step into the past and explore the construction that once echoed with the stories of an ancient civilization. But before we embark on this immersive journey through the structures of Mesopotamia, please hit that subscribe button, as we are fairly a new channel, so with your support, we will grow better, and it will encourage us to make more interesting content for our viewers, so don't miss to subscribe. Let's get back to the video. Mesopotamian city-states like Uruk, and Babylon bustled with activity, offering a glimpse into an astonishingly advanced society. But what made these cities remarkable were the houses that their inhabitants lived in. These dwellings were more than just bricks and mortar. They were a testament to the ingenuity and adaptability of Mesopotamian people. Mesopotamia was marked by its series of firsts. It is here that the world's first writing system, cuneiform, was developed. It was also used by several ancient civilizations in the Near East, including the Sumerians, Akkadians, Babylonians, and Assyrians. It was created primarily to record economic transactions, administrative information, and religious texts. The term, cuneiform, is derived from the Latin words cuneus, wedge, and forma, shape, referring to the wedge-shaped marks made on clay tablets using a stylus. The marks were made by a combination of lines and angles, resulting in a distinctive appearance. The direction of the wedges could vary, and they could be arranged horizontally or vertically. These clay tablets, where cuneiform was primarily inscribed on, which were then dried in the sun or baked to preserve the writing. These tablets were durable and have survived for thousands of years, providing valuable insights into the history and culture of ancient Mesopotamia. And it's also birthplace of first-ever legal codes, such as famous Code of Hammurabi, were created. The Code of Hammurabi is one of the earliest known legal codes in human history. It was created in ancient Babylon around 1754 BC by King Hammurabi. The code is inscribed on a large stele, a stone monument, and consists of 282 laws or regulations that govern various aspects of society, including criminal law, family and property law, commercial law, labor law, etc. The concept of urban planning was born here, with streets and neighborhoods carefully organized. Urban planning in Mesopotamian civilization, particularly in the Sumerian, Akkadian, and Babylonian city-states, was remarkably effective for its time and had a significant impact on the development of cities in the region. One of the most iconic features of Mesopotamian cities was the construction of ziggurats, massive step pyramids that served as religious and administrative centers. These structures were carefully designed and had a significant impact on the city's layout and the way people interacted with their urban environment. Ziggurats also facilitated communication with the gods and centralized authority. Mesopotamian cities were typically laid out in a grid pattern, with streets and canals forming a precise network. This grid system allowed for efficient movement within the city and facilitated trade and commerce. Many Mesopotamian cities were surrounded by defensive walls to protect against external threats. These walls were strategically designed to provide security and were often constructed with mud brick, making them cost-effective and durable. The placement of temples and palaces was a key consideration in urban planning. These structures were often centrally located and served as the focal points of cities, both in terms of religion and governance. Overall, the urban planning in Mesopotamian civilization was effective in creating organized, sustainable, and functional cities. While the materials and techniques used in their urban planning might not match modern standards, they were highly effective for the time and region. In this era, one of the most remarkable achievements was the development of irrigation systems to manage the water resources of the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. These rivers were essential for the region's agriculture, but they often flooded and had irregular water flow, so irrigation was crucial for ensuring a stable food supply. The irrigation system was of a basin type, which means that the farmers used large storage basins to hold water supplies from the rivers. These basins were connected to a network of canals and ditches that distributed the water to the fields. The canals and ditches were opened and closed by digging a gap in the embankment and placing mud back into the gap. This way, the farmers could control the amount and timing of water flow to their crops. The irrigation system in Mesopotamia was very advanced and efficient for its time, and it allowed the farmers to grow crops such as wheat, barley, dates, and vegetables in the arid climate of the region. But back to our focal point, the houses. These homes were essential not only for shelter but also for weaving the fabric of Mesopotamian society. They weren't just bricks and mud, they were the heart of communities, centers of economic activity, and symbols of status. Whether you were a humble farmer in the countryside or a wealthy merchant in the city, your house defined your daily life. The dwellings of Mesopotamia were crafted with a unique blend of architectural innovation and a deep understanding of the local environment. Houses in Mesopotamian civilization were typically built using a combination of mud bricks and reeds. The construction methods varied somewhat over time and between different regions of Mesopotamia, but there were some common elements in how these houses were built. These were typically built on a raised platform made of mud bricks, stones, or reeds. This helped to protect the house from flooding, which was a common occurrence in the Tigris and Euphrates river valleys. The walls of the houses were constructed using mud bricks. These bricks were made by mixing clay with water and sometimes straw to add strength. The mud brick mixture was poured into wooden molds and left to dry in the sun, creating the individual bricks. These bricks were then stacked and held together with a mud mortar. Sometimes the outer walls were coated with a plaster made from a mixture of mud and straw to protect them from erosion. The roofs were typically made from bundles of reeds, which were readily available along the banks of the rivers. These reeds were tied together and then laid across a wooden frame. The roof was then covered with a layer of mud and possibly more reeds to create a solid, waterproof surface. Houses typically had small windows and doors to keep the interior cool during the hot Mesopotamian summers and to provide privacy. Mesopotamian houses were often divided into multiple rooms, and the interiors were often quite simple, with limited furniture. They typically had a central courtyard for socializing, and the various rooms were used for different purposes, including sleeping, cooking, and storage. While the construction was basic, some Mesopotamian houses, especially those of the wealthy, featured decorative elements like painted frescoes on the walls and floors, as well as clay tablets with inscriptions. In many households, you would find clay ovens for baking bread, a staple food in Mesopotamia. Storage was a critical consideration in Mesopotamian houses due to the need to store grain and other foodstuffs. Special rooms or niches were often dedicated to this purpose. It's important to note that the specific construction techniques and materials used could vary over time and between different city-states in Mesopotamia. Nonetheless, the use of mud bricks and reeds was a common theme throughout the region, given the availability of these materials in the river valleys. These construction methods allowed people to adapt to the environmental conditions of the region, which included hot summers, occasional flooding, and the need for efficient cooling and insulation. As we conclude our exploration, we hope you've gained a deeper appreciation for the creativity, resilience, and innovation of this ancient culture. The legacy of Mesopotamia's architecture can still be seen and felt in our modern world, as it laid the foundation for many architectural and engineering practices. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more. Thank you for watching, and until next time. Goodbye, and take care.